next to me, running on dream. Cause I can't see how this could be reality. You're holding me close, and I don't know, do I let you in? Do I let it show? All of my fears and all of my ghosts are the only thing I've ever known.
Welcome back to Morning Coffee with Rick Alexander. That intro music was by Brittany Taylor, who's at Brittany Taylor on Instagram. And I'm Rick Alexander. You can link up with me at Rick Alexander _ or at Lionheart Radio. Today's message, I think it's going to end up being short. So I want to talk to you about what drives you and whether or not it's what's best or not. So I think one thing that happens is that all of us are on some level driven by the fear of being average, right? So if you listen to podcasts and you read and you journal and you're into personal development, then on some level, you're probably motivated by the fear of being average. And that's okay, I think, to a point, right? And there's other things that motivate us along the way. Like sometimes maybe we're picked on in high school, and so we vow to never be that weak person again, or however you perceived yourself, whatever narrative you have about yourself, we tend to use that narrative as fuel to push us going forward. I know for the longest time in my life, it was hate that drove me, right? And it was a hate of being average. It was a hate of myself as I was. It was really like a self-loathing that pushed me to get to the next level. And I'm going to be honest with you, it got me really far. And I've grappled with this idea of whether people can actually get to the next level or get to the level that they want to get to if in fact they are driven by something nicer, something like love, something like self-compassion. Like, is that enough of an edge? Does it provide enough to get you where you want to go? And you'll see a lot of athletes, if you look at Lance Armstrong in his prime, if you look at Tom Brady, like all of these athletes have talked about in their prime being driven by something or having to manufacture something. Because after you start winning and life gets comfortable and you're no longer the underdog, it's no longer that fear of losing or this idea that you want to prove somebody wrong that's going to propel you to win. And so a lot of top athletes will manufacture things wrong, and then like the press or people that are doubters or haters or whatever it is, they'll manufacture this in their own head so that they can keep that edge, so it can continue to propel them. And, fear, guilt, hate, insecurity, these are all incredible motivators, and they get you somewhere. But the thing is, if you get there, and you're full of turmoil and unease, is it actually worth it? And that would be my question for you today. Like, think about the things that drive you to get where you want, but then think about how those things play out in your life. Before you answer that question, I think that you really need to think about it. You really need to think about what it is that propels you forward in all of the different aspects of your life. And if it's something like hate, just know it will get you to a point, but there's a ceiling on that point. It will get you here, right? But it won't get you there. And that's something to think about, because if long-term success is your goal, if you want to better your life for the rest of your life, then there are other tactics that you should probably consider taking. And then you should look at things like hate and fear and insecurities and, if anything, know the place that you can use them, right? So like in a game time situation, if you listen to these top athletes, they don't hate themselves. They will manufacture this narrative about how somebody's out to get them so that they can get themselves fired up to go out and win the big game, to go out and perform in a training session. But week over week, these people are not filled with self-loathing. And if they are, all of their success is going to come at the cost of their contentment, at the cost of their wellness, at the cost of their well-being. And if that's you, then you'll find yourself in that same situation where it's a lot of inner turmoil that's actually filling you up. And you guys have heard me say this before, because if hate is the thing that pushes you forward and it causes this sort of inner anger, it just holds a spot in your being, and it doesn't allow anything else to live there. And so angry is what you become. And then the energy that you put off and all of your different interactions have a hint of anger. And it makes it really hard, one, for you to be around, and also it just makes it really hard for you to enjoy your life. And so really consider the things that are pushing you forward, the way that these things are driving you, and then think about the way that it's affecting the rest of your life. For me, I couldn't reconcile this idea, because hate was such a strong motivator in my life. It really did push me to get to good places. Like once you really like live in that ego, it'll push you to get in good shape. It'll push you to defy odds, to do things that other people say can't be done, right? How many times have you heard that when somebody says, tell me not to, and watch the first fucking thing that I do? That has essentially been the mantra for my entire life. And what I finally came to, where I could finally have a little bit of ease and contentment in my own life, was understanding that me as a being, my essence, my soul, whatever, me as a human being is good enough, right? It is worthy. It's worthy of love and adoration and validation and all of the things that the ego craves. And then knowing when you need to live into that ego in certain moments in your life. I think we have this idea that we need to disown the ego for everything that we do. I have a different idea of that. I think that the idea is actually to integrate the ego, and so to use it as it benefits you in the material world, and then to understand that there's a you beyond all of this material bullshit, and that you is poised to do something great in the world. But sometimes you really got to look at what it is that drives you and the price that that driver has on the rest of your life. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later on Morning Coffee.
I've been trying to find this vibe for a long time. Always seeming like it's coming on its own time. But it feels so good, ain't gonna lie. My ride or die, feels so good, ain't gonna lie. Now that last goodbye, all the way up and you can't take this. Cause it's feeling so real that you can't fake this. But it feels so good, ain't gonna lie. My ride or die, feels so good, ain't gonna lie. Now that last goodbye, we ain't never gonna quit. We ain't never gonna quit it, boy. Nah, we ain't never gonna quit. Nah, we ain't never gonna quit it. Always trying to chime me. The temperature be rising. I could've sworn that you be psychic. 1-800. You push my buttons, I'm like Tyson. Been years since I felt like this. So blessed. Gonna ask if you can stay. For the rest, I'm alive cause I need you. Real joy in my life, yeah, I need you. Just be you. We ain't never gonna quit. We ain't never gonna quit it, boy. Nah, we ain't never gonna quit. Nah, we ain't never gonna quit it. Every day's a gift, just take it as it comes. Embrace it through the mist, weather, rain, or sun. Every day is a gift, you got air up in your lungs. Be grateful, rain or sun. Every day's a gift, just take it as it comes. Embrace it through the mist, weather, rain or sun. Every day's a gift, you got air up in your lungs. Grateful rain or sun.